Hey guys, I just want to do like a quick little like update video. What's been going on with me? Just because a lot of things have been going really great. Been making a lot of progress on some of the projects I've been working on with my books. I got a campaign I'm going to launch pretty soon for an audiobook. So if you want to get on that, link to get on the email list, probably below wherever this is. But yeah, I got a lot of things. Just yesterday, I finally got my car back from the repairs that have been going on with that. It's been really hard. In particular, it's been really hard in the family, especially with my kids and, only with one car and the financial issues. But, things have been, like I said, looking up lately. And, I think I should update you guys. But, before I get in, let me get the mail. Something right here. Let's see. Okay. What's this? Phenomenal. No. 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 No! Damn it! Damn it, Vaughn! No! No, Vaughn! No! No! Damn you! Damn you! January 20th, 22nd, Heroes Con! I'm gonna bully you, Vaughn! I will bully you, Vaughn! No!
All right, let me find the button real quick. Where is it? There it is. All right. Hell yeah. How's everybody doing tonight? It's the Weekly Rogues Gallery. I'm your host, Iron Oxide, and we've got a much smaller panel this week than usual. I'm sure everybody notices. About half the regulars are out. We got Vaughn and Battsauce out playing Smear the Queer over at some nerdy comic book convention. So hope they're having a good time over there. Drunken Emerald Arrow and Professor are both otherwise engaged. I think some family stuff going on. Vagabond, I think he just had to go to Home Depot.
An all-day trip for him.
He's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be on. Oh wait, I got some stuff to do. Like, I think I got to go to Home Depot. I'm like, okay, all right. But we're gonna have an exciting show though. I've been excited about this one for a while. Fake wizard or fake? How do you like that being said? Fake wizard or real life
wizard?
You want
fake wizard? I'm wizard. Oh, yeah. Most people get confused with like the long name, but like it's more of a title. Wizard's fine. I appreciate that. Do you want to know my pronouns too?
Yes. No, not really. I don't.
Cadabra.
Abracadabra, yes.
Yes.
I'm more of a hocus pocus person myself.
I know. I bet you are, Arza. I bet you are. No, man. I've been a pretty big fan of your stuff. I like the Lilo and Stitch stuff you had going out. I know that got a little hairy with you getting yeeted there for a little bit. How'd that work out? Did you get everything squared
It's
away?
okay. No, nothing's been squared away. Disney still has copyright, wrongfully taken down my video with copyright takedown, which means that because of the specific timestamps that they claimed, I am canon to the movie. So I want my writer's credit, or actually maybe not, because the movie wasn't that good. But I would like to be compensated. So there is that.
And by God, you should be. Sammy Threepeat is filling in tonight. How's it going, Sammy?
Good. Thanks for having me. Yeah, everything's been going along pretty smoothly. I see. You updated my intro. That was kick ass. I enjoyed that.
That was cool.
Yeah. Just you weren't really. It wasn't really putting you over James Earl Jones on Conan. I felt like that was disrespectful to both of you. So
Thank you.
I decided to change it up a little bit.
That I appreciate that, and yeah, thanks for having me back on. It's great to always like it's a point of pride being a member of the Rogues Gallery. So it's always nice when I get to exercise that.
Good having you aboard, man. We want to have you on more often, as it were. And Theo Snodgrass, what's going on, dude?
What's up, buddy? Happy to be here. And I don't have a personal life, so I have nothing to get in the way of me being here every single week.
You did have to buy new tires, though, so that's
yeah, very exciting. That's the closest thing I've had to a date in a while, so that's pretty good.
Also, from that video that you played earlier, I didn't realize that Battsauce sounds like Ray Romano.
Oh, he does. Yeah, that's very true.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people go with the Kermit the Frog comparison.
No.
Is a lot.
No, Battsauce is a slightly less masculine Ray Romano. I think that's
I like that.
Yeah.
Yikes.
No, I think that's a lot more accurate. Speaking of less masculine, Arza.
I'm the
How's it
only
going,
dude
buddy?
who's still in peak testosterone production. I don't want to hear this. I don't care.
Yeah, you got your pussy on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also don't have a social life. My parents were going to get all you can eat sushi and didn't tell me until like 30 minutes ago. So I'm not doing that.
They didn't tell you. They probably snuck out of the house as quietly as possible. Don't let that fucker hear us. He'll want to go too.
Is that a
Just
euphemism?
talk the whole time. Is what a euphemism. Go out for sushi.
All you can eat sushi. Knowing his parents, that might be a euphemism.
You're accurate on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've shared a lot with us. You probably shouldn't have.
My dad shared more of it.
Not afraid to dump your purse out on the counter, are you?
Oh hell. Well, man, only having let's see, what do we got? 5 people on the show total. That makes for really quick intros. Normally these take like half an hour, 40 minutes. So we'll go ahead and
keep going.
Jump. No, that's cool. We'll go ahead and
We can do it again.
Yeah.
Just introduce everyone again.
All right, everybody, shut the stop. All right, let's say out in the chat real quick, and then we'll go ahead and jump into these articles. And we actually got a few good things to talk about, even though it's been a really pretty slow news week. We got Jason Clinton first in. What's going on, Jason? ScreamQueenSelena still computer is out of commission. I'm still working on that, so she will not be joining us once again this evening. We got Wareham of Blah. However you say that. Hi, that's one of your guys.
Wareham of Blah.
Oh, gotcha. We got the lovely Sherry. What's going on, Sherry? We got Weasel. What's going on, Weasel? Master Hobo. Greetings from the humble shelter. Me confused. The guest a wizard or not? Yeah. The answer is yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Emily Kruger, Master Quiz. What's going on, Emily? Who else we got here? We got Blue Eyed Scorpio. What's going on, man? I think Ray Romano had a run where he was knee deep in puss. Oh, probably. With a schnoz, he was probably knee deep in puss and coke.
What am I gonna do with all
like
these
that.
bitches?
Who left these holes in my room? Who did all my cocaine? I bet it was Peter Boyle.
Yeah. In all truth, I would love to do cocaine with Peter Boyle. R.I.P. Peter Boyle.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, yeah. No, you know who I'd like to do hardcore drugs with would be Rodney Dangerfield. You know that.
Oh, my God. That would have been amazing.
Hey, you want to try the mushrooms or not? What are we going to do?
Oh, holy shit. They're kicking in.
We got Vagabond here. Hey, Vagabond, you got the link. If you're done with your chores, feel free to pop in, buddy. And I think that's it for now. So we'll go ahead and pull up the first article here. So we're talking a little bit about this backstage, and while the Stellar Blade stuff is interesting, I kind of want to get back to the conversation we were having that it birthed. But the Stellar Blade director rejects the idea of regulating adult mods once the game is purchased. It belongs to users. See, I just bought Stellar Blade on PC. What's going on? So, Arza, fill us in on the Nexus Mods thing. So what's going on with that?
So this all really kicked off with PC Gamer, which has a really big hard-on for Eve, but in the wrong kind of way, not the way the rest of us do. They were really angry at how hot she is, and so they've been throwing non-stop tantrums. They gave the game a 68 out of 100 because they're absolute suckers who couldn't give it a 69 at the very least. They had to go and they denigrated the game studio and the players for having over a quarter. I think it was 40% of all mods for the game are lewd skin mods for the game.
How many? Okay, I want to stop you right there. 40% of all mods in general for just about every fucking game out there are that. Have you looked at the Resident Evil mods? Skyrim is a dark and filthy place. Exactly. And it has been for a decade. Fallout, same thing. The majority of the mods, there are some actual, some mods for other things, but for the most part, it's all like either reducing clothes, increasing cup size, or anything else degenerate under the sun. Things that they couldn't put into the game to begin with in most cases. So why they're targeting this game specifically? Well, I think we all know because it had a target audience. But who here has played the game? I've played it front to back twice.
I didn't finish it, but I played it on PS5.
Yeah, I didn't finish it. I played it on PS5.
I like single player games. I like games like Dark Souls, Elden Ring. I don't really play anything online, so this game was right up my alley. I like I fucking enjoyed it.
I thought it was fun. I'll definitely go back to it. I'm not a completionist, so if I get to a spot where I just can't beat it, sometimes I'll put it down and start another game because my backlog's enormous. And then eventually it'll, in the back of my head, it'll be like, it's time to go back. It's time to go back. And then I have to relearn all the fucking controls again.
I start the game over because you forgot.
I've done that a couple
pain in the ass.
I did that with Red Dead Redemption 2, but there was a glitch in my PS4. I would get to a certain spot and it would spit the game out. And that's the only game that I've never gone back to. Because I got so annoyed from these it's right when you get into town, these girls sing a song on on your way into town, and I had to hear that song 15 times, and I was like, I can't fucking do this.
And your
again.
PlayStation was like, yeah.
I had to do that with Alien Isolation most recently because it had also been 4 years since I'd played it the first time. I got all the way to the end. And then it's I don't even know why I stopped. I just stopped and I didn't actually play another game for about 3-4 months until something new got my attention. And then I tried to play it again just here recently because I'd planned on streaming it.
It's a good stream,
and I forgot how to do everything. It is a very fun game. Alien Isolation's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely one of those games where, especially when I got headphones on, when you feel when you hear xenomorph creeping up on you, you gotta pause it and turn around real quick.
Yeah, dude. Holy shit. But this game, I mean, for all the hate it's getting, it's actually it is a good game. If this was a game that was released in the early 2000s, it wouldn't get hardly any of the attention it's getting.
No, it'd be
because
way bigger.
I mean,
5 to 10 years from now, they're going to come back and they're going to say that she's an empowering figure, just like they did with Tomb Raider and just like they did with Nier Automata. Some of the PC Gamer articles were complaining because she's just 2B, but without the self-respect, is what they're saying.
I don't know. I don't see that at all. Now,
Have they played the
here's
game?
another thing. I
Probably
don't
not.
think. I don't think they have.
No,
Uh,
they're
there's
gaming
there's
journalists.
Like, I haven't finished it, but I know
Yeah.
there's a very like intensive story there. Like,
These are the
she
people who
has
want everything to have an
character.
easy mode.
Well, no, they're
That's the
complaining
thing. The
because it's
story is
sexy,
actually
has
very good.
robots.
The story is very good. Like, I know the story, I just haven't finished the game. But like, you can tell these people are talking out of their asses.
Well, their point for comparison as
as
to why it's a
they
copy plays
typically do.
is because Eve is hot and 2B is hot. The world has ended in both of them, and there are robots in both of them.
Okay, that's it.
All right, fair.
That's why Stellar Blade's a copy paste. It's because of those commonalities.
Now,
Is that what they're
You see,
saying?
Yes, I can see if I can find an article saying that.
I picked up a game about, I want to say 25 years ago. I was on back in the, I want to say PS2, maybe PS3 era, somewhere in there. I'm sure you guys will remember the title, but it was too much even for me, and it didn't get any negative attention. In fact, it was pretty heavily praised. It still is. Bayonetta.
Battletoads?
Bayonetta. That game blows the fucking goon factor of this game out of the water.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
and the gameplay, the mechanics of the game kind of suck. The story's non-existent, and what's there is stupid, and it's embarrassing to play. A lot of people love it, so I got no problem. But I
Somehow
grabbed
she
it,
made it
thought,
into
hey,
Smash
I like
Bros.
it. Not so much. Yeah, she's in fucking Smash Brothers.
That one threw me for a loop.
I love doing her dodge in Smash Bros.
She's fun to play in Smash Bros. I have that is where my my tism kicks in. Is if I'm playing a fighter game, I have to play as every single character before I pick a main. I can't.
Same.
Mhm.
Same.
Unless it's Mortal
So-
Kombat, then I'm just Scorpion.
You don't just main Kirby.
I used to,
Come on,
or it's just
Jigglypuff is far better than Kirby.
I just suck you in and then jump off the ledge.
Yeah.
Now, Iron, if you want to pull up I shared a screen and I'm showing that thing where they
Oh,
compare
yeah,
it
sure.
to Nier Automata.
Yeah.
I
Let me
think-
pull on.
I think
mine
the
and
important
pull up
takeaway
yours.
is this is pissing off the right
Hey.
people.
It is, and it is just weird that they're still, the game's been out over a year. This is the second release, and they're still pitching
Yeah.
a fit about this fucking game.
The reason they're pitching
Let
it
'em-
now is that mods are now available. We can now use mods in this game, and then they're also complaining because it sold 1 million copies on Steam in 3 days.
Mhm.
And this is coming from the PC Gamer's review of the game. After all, its running plot is almost identical. The end of the Earth as we know it, now populated by monstrous alien life forms, a scantily clad woman fighting to reclaim the planet and save humanity alongside a drone companion, soundtracked by eerie female vocals that almost stand parallel to the horrors of the world. That's why this
I'm gonna
is
stop you right
copy-paste in
there.
Nier Automata.
Yeah, and none of that's accurate. The monstrous alien life forms, you don't know what they are until the end, and they don't even allude to them being aliens.
They're called
They're
trans
just
women and
there.
they're beautiful.
Let's be honest, this is like 90% of games that exist right now, or used to
Yeah.
exist.
I would agree with that.
So, what's your take on it, Theo? Have you played Stellar Blade yet?
No, I go outside and talk to women, so I don't know anything about what
Okay.
you guys are talking about. But
Okay.
I agree
Well,
with you
shit.
though. I agree 100% with everything you guys are saying.
Do they talk
hate-
back to you?
You
regrettably,
don't need to get into specifics.
you don't watch my show. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, it's tough out here. But no, I agree 100%. We should light game journalists on fire in the street, and I don't care who thinks.
In
Yep.
Minecraft.
You can't hate them enough.
Yeah.
All right.
I- that's
Ours,
most journalists.
Anything else to this article, or was that the main part you wanted to show me here?
That was just the main part of that article.
Okay, cool. Now, from what you were saying earlier, and I had only just heard about this 5 minutes ago when you told me. So Nexus Mods has been sold, and they're going to start purging some of the mods from Stellar Blade. Is that correct?
They've been doing that already, and they're just continuing on with the purging of the mods, and they're going significantly harder on to doing that, and they're targeting more mods as they're doing it.
Okay, now are they targeting all of those types of mods on all games on their site, or just the game specifically? Or do you know?
They're targeting Stellar Blade, and they're targeting Donald Trump Captain America on Marvel's the
Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, Rivals. People put out a mod that replaces Captain America's head with Donald Trump's head, and they banned that one immediately. There was a new mod that was not a nude mod. It took a merchant and removed her pants, but her sweatshirt is low enough that it covers everything. So you can't even tell, like, she doesn't look nude. It just looks like she has really short pants with the new mod, and they banned it immediately while keeping up similar mods like Black Geralt of Rivia. Give Judy from Cyberpunk male genitalia. Give your character from Cyberpunk being
that.
Huh?
Well, there was a specific word for that.
Oh, I haven't got there yet. So the next one, the next one is give your character, as in V, give V anatomically accurate trans femme reconstructive surgery based vagina.
Finally.
Here we go. Let's see if we can. I'm going to go to Nexus Mods right now, and I'm going to see if I can find that one.
Wait, say it again. Wait. Anatomically correct.
Trans feminine. So male to female. So reconstructive surgery, bottom surgery, vagina for V in Cyberpunk. So not a mod to give V a visible vagina. No, a trans one.
Now I'm
on the Cyberpunk a little bit of that moose knuckle.
Immediately, the first thing I'm bombarded with when I go to the Cyberpunk mod page are adult themed mods, like right off the bat.
That's all you're gonna get.
I was afraid you Googled that description.
Not on stream, I won't.
Well, I was gonna pull up some tweets that I saw, but they're all inappropriate because they're coming from most of them are being shared by or coming from a competitor, Ayaka Mods, who is posting all of the porn mods for Stellar Blade on.
I'm sensing a lot of cartoon characters in the profile picture.
Ayaka Mods does not have a profile, or has some AI thing.
No, I'm saying the ones posting all this stuff and saying that it's awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can
probably
find
in the form of like a horse or a wolf.
I think we need to show some demonstrations, frankly. I think chat's waiting on pins and needles to find out what this looks like. There we go. Sammy's got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so trans accurate. Where is this fucking mod?
Dear sweet baby Jesus.
Well, can't find it. I believe it's there though. I'll take your word for it, Arza.
Well, I saw the article myself too, or whatever. It was trending on Twitter for a little while. But it's kind of crazy. We talk about all this stuff, and it's like, oh, the journalists are at it again. It's like, no one gives a crap. The game sold 1 million units on Steam. Yeah. It's a year old. Like, why anyone takes these journalists seriously at all? They don't even take themselves seriously. Like, it's
everyone's like, oh, that's great. All right.
And the fact that
that's what we need though, is to go back to just ignoring these people. Like I'm not suggesting shoving them back in the lockers like we did in high school, but but this is definitely who these people are.
Bad idea.
No, I mean, I'm not saying don't.
Instead of shoving them into lockers, let's shove them back into the closet.
Get in there.
That too.
You come back out when God loves you.
Now, I don't see this being bad for the modding community because Nexus Mods has been kind of a pain in the ass for a long time. There was the trans flags and Spider-Man controversy. You can't change any character's pigmentation except for one way. All that, and they just seem to have the point of mods is that gives the person who owns the game the ability to play the game. They want to play it in the privacy of their own home. Now, Nexus Mods has kind of got it in their head that they have a monopoly on that. They get to say what they can do, And now that all they're going to do is lose that stranglehold that they've had for the past several years and give other people a little more room in the modding sphere to kind of whatever I was saying there. I got distracted. All right. Anyway, moving on.
When you look at something like Nexus Mods, I often think I compare it very much to something like limited run games. Like the way that they put their internal political ideology before everything else, like before business. And that doesn't work out. That only incentivizes people to start competing. So now a mod database, it's much easier for people to compete with that versus limited run, which has supply and production requirements behind it. But like Nexus Mods, its time is limited. Its time is limited. There will be competition that will explode, as there already is.
Yeah, because I mean, really, they're not the product. The product is the mods that are being created by other people outside. All they have to do is put their shit somewhere else, and people start going there to get it. Now, Nexus Mods does have a pretty decent mod managing program. I think it was for a while it's called Nexus Mod Manager. Now it's called Vortex. And for people that don't know what they're doing, that works pretty good. But there are other options out there. Fluffy Mod Manager.
I personally, I just do it all natively myself, like manually. I don't want any of that stuff. I don't know what they're putting on there. And I don't trust this company to begin with.
Same.
I'll handle my own.
Duke Devil, what's up?
Trans, feminine, masculine, genetic mess of a mod myself.
Right.
All right, I found the mod if you're interested, but I can't show it because it's
Is it graphic? I bet it's graphic.
Yeah.
It looks like Justin Long in Tusk.
I'll send it in the private chat so you guys can look, but nobody I would not recommend putting this on stream.
I just see a 3D model with a hot dog like stapled to it. Because I mean that's pretty much what they look like in real life.
Yeah, like a poorly folded ravioli or a tortellini.
I have to log in.
I have to log in to see it, and I'm doing
I can
it.
take a screen. I'm not
Hold on, let me see.
I need to know. Okay,
hold up. This is a person who modeled their own vagina for this.
Oh fuck!
No!
So this is just playing into their kink, where they want to show their fucking Franken parts to people.
And but I'm sorry, guys that like looking at ass and titties, they're the real perverts, aren't they? A little bit of cheesecake. How dare you?
I mean, we'll deal with them in a minute.
Look at my mangina.
This is like a different level of disgusting.
My expectations.
I don't have a what do you call it? The profile. Someone screenshot it and just DM it to me.
I'm gonna take some screens. Oh my god, no!
Okay, now I have to see it. Somebody DM this to me, please.
I have to know. I have to know.
I am going to take a screenshot and put it in the Twitter chat.
Oh, you're gonna put it in the Twitter chat?
Oh fuck! Could somebody please send Vagabond to Horny Tail? By the way.
Oh no!
And I apologize, chat. We can't show this on YouTube.
I apologize for Left Wizard, but I did. Oh God! X blocked me for sending it to you, or it's giving me trouble for it. I have to verify I'm human to send it to you.
I see. I just took a screenshot of it.
That is a look.
Oh fuck! I can't.
There we go.
Post it.
I'm embarrassed that this is going to be in my search history now.
Yeah, your algorithm's screwed.
Fuck.
My algorithm's cooked, boys.
Oh my god, that's so gross.
That's upsetting to look at. I'm not doing that.
It's gonna be filled. It was like you can turn Spider-Man to that trans woman who has to go to Disney World all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Lily Tino.
The guy.
Yeah.
Tino, the guy who his whole shtick is I got dumped. I got cheated on and dumped by my wife, so I became a woman to harass restaurant employees that misgender me and go into bathrooms to harass women.
Yeah, that's
very passively aggressive. And he says, well, I'm not. I'm just there living my life and taking pictures of everyone. No, it's passive aggressive harassment. He's there to apply
and
dominance.
trying to get free meals.
Yeah.
By bullying like service industry people who barely speak English. So like these people are just they're like, here you go, sir, and they're like, it's ma'am. And he's like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, you did hear that Lily Tino was getting sued, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because she took a picture in a woman's bathroom.
So
like
of women.
and they were
It's worse than that, Sammy. She was going to every single women's bathroom in
Yeah.
Disneyland or Disney World, one of the Disney parks, and taking pictures of the women in the bathrooms without their consent.
Yes.
In every single bathroom.
But one of them was like a TikToker and saying like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And her argument was, women take selfies in the bathroom all the time. And it's like, yeah, they do, but it's usually like to show off a dress or their makeup or whatever. You got
Usually
other
not with other
women
people.
in your shot who are like going to the bathroom. You're a fucking weirdo. Like,
So
and don't
Duke
act.
Devil pointed out that there's a law about this in Florida, and that is
Yeah.
where Lily did this in Florida, and Lily took pictures of many children in the bathroom. And so Lily's being sued by, I believe, a parent of a child who caught him in the bathroom taking a photo of their child.
Yes. Him.
Him.
Abracadabra.
Yeah, it's a fetish for some of these people where it was like
100% is.
I've met trans people, and most of them don't do shit like this. They want to just kind of like go about their day under the radar, and like if they're forced to have a conversation, they will. And then you have these, like I don't even know what you would call it.
You hit the nail on the head before. He's a fetishist.
Yeah, no, he was erect when he was doing this. Like this guy's a fucking weirdo. And like I said, I truly believe some people do have body dysmorphia or gender dysmorphia. I just think he's just a fucking clown who, who's like he gets attention. He's big on TikTok, so like he makes bank when he does dumb shit like this, and he gets rewarded for his bad behavior.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, when you have grown men that typically dress like either sluts or little girls, okay, you don't have body dysmorphia. You're just you're a fetishist.
Yeah, 100%. Also, if my wife comes out and says that thing is taking pictures of them in the bathroom, I'm going to jail because like I'm flooring you at
100%.
Disney World.
Yeah,
you're getting jawed.
Yeah.
I'm about to commit a hate crime.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't hate it. I love this. I'm gonna love it.
No, and I think that's the only way things can change. And it really is up to you mentioned Sammy, and I have two normal like trans people. I've met them too.
Yeah.
We used to have normal gays too. That was a thing too back in the good old early 2000s.
Yeah, it was like I remember my buddy Victor. I knew the guy was gay since like first grade when I saw him throw a baseball. Like I knew he was gay. Like in high school when he was ready to have like a coming out party, like we had like a we're not surprised party for him. He's like, you guys knew? And we're like, yeah, dude. Yep. Like we fucking
duh.
knew. But also he'll see like, we'll be going to the bars and stuff, and then he'll see like some dude in booty shorts like going down the street and like roller skates, and he'll be like, Jesus Christ, these people are so exhausting. And I was like, I gotta feel bad. Like, it's like I didn't understand how that feels till as an Italian watching like an episode of Jersey Shore. You're like, you're setting the whole fucking race back 100 years. Like, stop it, you Goomba.
I have a gay friend who, he told me that basically the way things are now, he's mildly conservative. He's more centrist than anything else. He don't want to pay taxes and he likes guns. So good guy. But he said even being that, just like that, and having to think, well, am I going to vote Democrat, Republican, or independent? He said, like, basically the climate now in the gay community, he's in the new version. That's the new closet. Like they have to be in the closet around their own fucking people constantly if they have any kind of wrong think or out,
it's horrendous.
objective. If they don't buy into the pride parade shit and everything else, they think it's turned into something it wasn't ever supposed to be.
Well, it's the genderqueer people, non-binary, where a lot of these old school gays have like a huge fucking problem with. They even have like that movement where they brought it back to the rainbow. And, they'll say things like, get your shit off our flag. Like, I was like, I kind of feel for these people because, like, some of these guys say, like, real insane shit, right? And, in the society that we live in today, everybody, like, represents everybody. So if you have someone in your group who says something completely fucking bombastic, you got to be like, nope, that's right. Nope, a drag queen in every fucking school. We said it. Yeah, that makes total sense.
And they'll read all the books to kids.
But I get it a lot. I'm both publicly and out as bisexual, and I'm also publicly and out as a conservative, and I have to deal with it a lot of the time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, let's get rid of him. All right, that's already better.
Which part? which part of it? Bisexual or conservative piece?
The two together, just
too much awesome in one body, I'm afraid. But no, it's like I get the number one thing I get told is that all of you are waiting to throw me into concentration camp, and I know you are, but it's not because of my sexuality.
Yeah, but dude, you're like way in the back. There's so many people ahead of you.
But they constantly, if you
our reason for kind of wanting to beat you up isn't because of your sexuality; it's because you're young and kind of annoying. Bit of a know-it-all. These are all things that can be worked out over time, though.
Exactly. Same with the sexuality, actually. You can beat that out of me, too, I hope. But no, it's every single time I
would
talk
rather
to
not.
them,
I'm not going to be off anytime soon.
Yeah.
But every time they talk about how everyone is just using me for the token, and they immediately attack you on every single trait that they can possibly think of. It's love and acceptance until you espouse one wrong opinion, and look at
J.K. Rowling. She has been appeasing to these people for years. Like every time she wasn't getting any shine, she'd be like, "Dumbledore's gay. Draco Malfoy's not binary." Like every single fucking time. What was the owl's name?
Hedwig.
Yeah. Hey, Hedwig was ghostkin, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Hey, I don't think
men can be women
should play in women's sports," and like, "You fucking monster, they're burning her books."
Yeah. No, she even what was the really funny one? It was when the Broadway play came out, and she said, I always envisioned Hermione as black. I'm like,
black.
Have you read your book? That's not very flattering, lady. She had very curly and unkept hair. Like,
I'm still waiting for them if they do cast Black Snape. The first 4 seasons are going to be great because it's just going to be accidental racism. They're just going to be like, I don't know what Snape is up to, and I can't put my finger on it, but he's up to something.
We can't trust him.
I don't like the looks of this one.
Quick, let's hide him in it. Let's hang him from a tree.
Upside down by his toes. And if he hollers, let him go.
That's you can tell people haven't read the source material of what they're producing when they cast him.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's honestly the worst character to cast as Black.
They could have. This will sound funny, but they could have made Sirius Black being black would have made more sense story wise. Like, okay,
but that also would have been okay. That could have.
I don't really see a problem.
Change anybody that would be fitting.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, if you made Sirius Black, that would cause problems and ripple effects if you having to cast several other important characters to the story as Black as well.
Not
such as
they only did one. I'm just saying, just switch it out for from Snape to Sirius Black. And hey, Sirius Black was wrongfully accused and imprisoned.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah. Here, you want a good one?
More culturally appropriate.
Have the girl who played the Wicked Witch in Wicked, the one who gave Ariana Grande the eating disorder. Now they always weirdly touch it. Yeah, make her play Voldemort. I'm wide open.
No.
Just don't
got
make
the body
Snape
for it.
black.
That's actually good casting.
Cynthia Erivo is Voldemort.
It's like, I don't got no
Do the
nose.
Nosferatu walk.
Ellen
All right,
DeGeneres is
with the creepy
Peter
long ass
Pettigrew.
fingernails. She's like, you fucking mudblood.
It's no longer
all
mud
right,
blood, it's now
let's-
mud skin.
Oh
Let's see if this
no.
plays.
No.
Oh, it doesn't play. It doesn't play. Oh well, I didn't really want to hear that thing
Yeah,
talk anyway.
it's
Ugh.
gross and it's fucking weird. And there's only one person that I hate more right now. It's that what the hell is his name? Where he's like, I accept you. It's okay.
Oh,
That
Oh, that
creepy
fucking
ass.
guy.
it's
He's
okay
like-
to not speak to your parents ever again,
Yeah,
little
no.
boys.
Yeah.
You want to go hands off with the family? I'll be your family. And you're like, dude,
Oh, that is bad.
he's one of those people. He's like Hassan Piker, where like I just saw him walking down the street where you're like, I have to hit this guy. I absolutely
Sammy revving up for a hate crime again.
yeah, three-peat, we done it again.
Worst part of all is he pretends to be a woman, but he always keeps the 5 o'clock shadow on his face.
Oh,
and you always
yeah,
see the
it's
salt
so-
and pepper
Yeah.
beard.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much broadcasting that he's trying to be a cult leader. He just can't get the following. Kind of like Theo.
Yeah, no, he's
TikTok,
like
TikTok makes cult leaders.
he's gay, non-binary Charlie Manson. That's who. I'm the devil, and I've come to do the devil's work.
All right. Well, that was. Let's see. What do we?
TikTok's a wonderful place.
Isn't it though?
Yeah,
And of course,
Now,
Trump
this-
keeps being nice at TikTok and keeps giving it 90-day extensions on the sale.
Oh, they're still doing that.
Another 90-day
That-
extension was given.
That's because they see it as an asset to reach voters and reach supporters.
Yeah.
you know what? We all know that it's giving information to China. I feel really bad for these Chinese agents who have to like sift through TikTok all
All the
day.
degeneracy and all
You know,
the
like
crap
I
that
identify
comes out
as
of
a
America.
fox, and the guy's like, "Oh my fucking god, this is scary, bro."
That was the second one today. I just clocked in.
This girl is pretending like she has Tourette's. She do not have Tourette's.
All right. Well, since we were talking about Black Snake, why don't we talk about Black James Bond for a minute? I don't know how much truth there is to this rumor, but
Well, it is
I wanna see
Amazon
Barry's thoughts.
in charge of the franchise now, so
That's 100% true. Let's see if I
It's
can
cooked.
find the right tab.
it's been
Mm-mm.
cooked, dude. Like
It's
they
been
were trying to
cooked.
do that. They were trying to make Bond a black woman in the last movie.
And we almost got away with it too.
Yeah, for your pesky people with your eyes and ears.
Now, for a few years, a lot of people were floating around Idris Elba when he was kind of in his biggest prime. I didn't really hate
Yeah.
that idea. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, and he looks.
This guy's being astroturfed. Big time.
Well, they all
Big
are.
time. He's being pushed.
Yeah, he's being pushed.
He's going to be Jon Stewart in the new. He's going to be a Green Lantern. This guy in the Lantern show. And
I don't blame the actor, right? You know,
Yeah.
like if a gig like that is any one of us, if someone was like, "Hey, you want to play James Bond?" Fuck yeah, you want to play James Bond. You know what I mean?
do I get
It
to
was
wear
like,
the wizard beard. Yes.
you know, it's not that. I was always kind of hoping for Tom Hiddleston. I think he has like the right sleek. Like everyone wants Cavill. I don't think Cavill's like suave enough.
It's not bad. Yeah. If they're gonna go with the younger James Bond, that other kid from Harry Potter, the one that used to be the fat kid, and then he got all. They
Neville.
obviously he's
Oh
Yeah,
is it-
Neville. a clear example of bullying working correctly.
Or
Because
who's the
we
guy
went
who
from
played
being-
Adam Warlock? He'd be
Will-
a good choice.
Will something.
Powter.
The guy
Will
from
Poulter.
like the
Will
Star
Poulter,
Wars game
yeah.
and that.
Yeah.
And Meet the
No,
Mars.
that-
no,
that's
he
a
looks
different
like
guy.
him though.
No, that's
Okay.
the Star Wars game's someone else. That's
Cal Kestis.
that's the character. I
Yeah,
can't
Cal
think of the name,
Kestis.
but that guy's a ginger. We don't like ginger.
Yeah. Well, he played the Joker on Gotham.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Joker because they couldn't get the rights to the Joker.
Yeah, and also, yeah. I mean that's a whole different set of
That
worms.
was so
but-
stupid.
Wait,
Yeah,
I
here's
can't
the
wait to get
Joker
the
in
Cave
every
cast
way.
on that one. I hate Gotham so much.
That's you know what, that show had so much potential, and then it's
It
like
did.
actually we're gonna be really stupid bullshit like television. We're just
Yeah,
gonna let TV writers take over and
Well, and
throw
it's
it all
also
to the
it's like,
wind.
oh, Bruce Wayne met everybody in his childhood, and it was like most
Oh,
of these
and
people
everyone
who go
dies.
hand-to-hand combat with
They get
Batman, they're going to be
resurrected.
like 30 years
Old.
older than Batman when they fight. Yeah, like it
Yeah,
doesn't.
no wonder he's
doesn't make
kicking
sense.
their ass all over Gotham. They're senior citizens, and he's like in his
Yeah,
fucking
that brings
prime.
it to it. They're
Batman
mentally
versus
ill
the
and they're
nursing home.
geriatric. Great job, Bruce.
Right. No, that show had a lot of good potential. It started off good. I mean, talk about good casting. I like the guy who played Jim Gordon. You had Donald Loeb playing Bullock. That was great casting too. And then it just you had the chick from Deadpool who's just smoking. And then it turned into like a really bad soap opera.
Yes.
It was.
Right,
I thought it was mostly fine until they decided to make the Penguin gayer than I am and make him hit on the Riddler, and then make the Riddler commit a hate crime against the Penguin.
And what's sad is the actor they had playing the Penguin was good. He's a good actor. I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He's not a bad actor. He's always been pretty open about, that you're like, okay, he's that gay actor, but he's good and shit. And then
he's like a Nathan Lane, right? Like we know that he's gay as the day is long, but like here's gay people. So like why not have like the gay guy?
Barney from How I Met Your Mother, Doogie Howser.
Yeah,
Neil Patrick
we were
Harris.
talking about Neil Patrick Harris. Talk about knowing somebody's gay when they're a kid. I was watching that show. It's like, I don't know, he seems gay.
Yeah, he's just got that. You just kind of know sometimes. It's like by the way, while we're on Neil Patrick Harris, like he's voicing the new voice of Deadpool in that Deadpool VR game. Have you guys seen that? Yeah, no, but like I was expecting for a second, it sounds like he's doing who played Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds.
If you're going in expecting Ryan Reynolds, you're like, Jesus Christ, what type of medication do they have Ryan Reynolds on? Because it's not working out for him. He just sounds like Ryan Reynolds, like if he took too much Xanax to fly.
But MetaQuest and
whenever Neil Patrick Harris did Dick Grayson, I thought he did a great job as
he was excellent in Under the Red Hood. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that was him? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he's very good.
I think he also I could be wrong, but I think he voiced him in Injustice as well, the game series.
Maybe.
Oh, that'd be really weird because he only got like one line in the Injustice games before he gets bonked.
He dies. Well, you get the flashbacks in part 2. Now, all right, back to the discussion. So, just among the panel, like, what are your thoughts? Because I see a lot of people are complaining that it's a black James Bond at all, or that it's just the actor doesn't really seem to fit the part. And that's where I go. I see this guy. I know James Bond's supposed to be a, womanizing, good looking dude, but this guy's just like, he's a little too GQ, he's too pretty.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten to a plane of existence that's beyond perhaps even this panel. I just don't give a shit anymore.
Right.
And that's how I feel on everything, though. It's not just James Bond, it's everything. Oh, they're doing another Harry Potter. I don't give a shit. Oh, they're doing another Mario Kart. I don't give a shit. Everything has been so overcooked. There is no new original ideas, and like that's fine.
Yeah.
I stand by what many other YouTubers and content creators have said. If Amazon had acquired 007, what they should have done is old man James Bond and brought back Pierce Brosnan. He's still got it.
God.
He has got the strong acting chops. You could have done a series. You could have done a trilogy of movies. People would have watched that. People would have paid to see that in theaters. Starting with a new guy, I don't think you're going to get the demand you once had before. I don't think people are going to care.
No,
because
I think you're right.
They don't. Look, I'm in my 30s. I don't give a shit. The people younger than me don't care about Bond. There's nothing you're going to do to salvage this. So I think Amazon, for all their failures, they don't learn a damn thing. They don't learn anything. They never do. And
Wizard is 100% correct on this one. You know, I'm 22. Most people I knew were 22. I don't know a single person who gives two shakes of rat's ass about James Bond. They saw the last James Bond, who was an effeminate little bitch boy, talking about his boyfriend and getting piggyback rides from a black woman. Nobody gives a two shakes of rat's ass about this character. He's been completely abandoned because nobody cares about him. He's not being reinforced as any kind of standard for masculinity, and the masculinity he does show is being constantly denigrated. And I think I summed it up pretty well in my response to Kaida when he tweeted about this. I can't wait for them to announce 007 Baby Mama's James Bond and $500,000 for stealing Q's car with a secret gadget like the Great Fanta lockpick, 3-shot line pistol, and I can't swim emergency raft.
All right. Well, I guess we're done with this topic. Thanks, Arza.
No, I agree. I could not be more apathetic. It's the last real James Bond movie I liked was probably Casino Royale. That was and which made me sad because Daniel Craig, he had the chops to do it, but even then Bond was used more as like a blunt instrument than he was kind of like cool. I think probably one of my favorite ones to do it was Timothy Dalton. I think he was incredibly underrated. And when and that's fine. That's that's like when I watch Age of Ultron now, I was like, okay, that movie actually aged better than like when I saw it in theaters. It wasn't what I wanted.
It's still not what I wanted.
None of it's been what I wanted, right? So but I'm saying now it's just like with Marvel, Star Wars, all of these, hell, Lord of the Rings, any one of these things, they did it again to Indiana Jones, and they want to make another Indiana Jones property, and it was like, I agree with Wizard. It's like, why can't you make another? Is Indiana Jones the only archaeologist like fucking ever? Like, write another fucking story. Like, they tried to do it. What's the games? Where you're basically not Far Cry.
No, not Far Cry. The other one.
Uncharted.
Uncharted. Thank you. And they tried to do Uncharted. They picked Tom Holland for some reason. I have no idea, but I was like, that's an Indiana Jones like character, right? Like, it was like, why is this so hard for people? You can even do it in the same era. It's just like, but no, that time has come and passed. Unfortunately, with Bond, you get these, it's like a legacy series. This is why I'm always a big fan of recasting, where like that's one of Marvel's biggest mistakes is when a character, when Chadwick Boseman died, they're like, we're not going to recast Black Panther. And I was like, well, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because there's plenty of great stories written about T'Challa that you're not going to be able to write because like you buried him after 2-3 movies. So
I'm sorry, that excuse is
Downey
bullshit.
Jr. is Iron Man. Same thing.
I think
thing where people argue about like who's the better Batman. Well, you've not given people the chance to have these arguments, and you're making the characters age in real time when you could continue to tell these stories and not have to skip through all the bullshit to get to the woke shit, because unfortunately people age, and it takes about like 4 years to crank these movies out.
Well, and that was part of their plan, was for these characters to age out and be replaced with the new characters they introduced in the comic books at that time. And you can't convince me that Chadwick Boseman dying didn't just land at Disney's lap for what they wanted to do to begin with, which was turn Black Panther into the girl.
Oh yeah,
they always intended to do it.
Unless he's like Joe Biden and no one knew that he had cancer the whole time, right? Like.
I think they believed they could have made more money with Chadwick Boseman if he was still alive. They were putting him up to be, he was supposed to be the face of the Avengers. Like there was that big discussion between them where it was supposed to be Brie Larson, Chadwick Boseman, and the kid that plays Spider-Man that's on the cover of every Tom Holland. Yeah, we see his face every day.
Zendaya's boyfriend.
It was supposed to be the three of them were the face of Phase 4 and 5, but I think they saw a quick cash grab, and that's why they killed him off.
I always
anything else.
I always tell this story. So for the new Blade movie, who's the guy who's supposed to play Blade?
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, okay. So he kept putting his foot down because they wanted to do. The writers were like, "Hey, Blade's gonna have a daughter, and she's gonna teach you life lessons throughout the movie."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I'm not playing second fiddle in my own movie." And then they went back to the drawing board and they're like, "Okay, well, you're gonna teach her how to like be a vampire." He's like,
Blade.
"No, because that's how you're gonna phase me out." And then in exasperations, one of the writers went, "Well, you know what? We're just gonna have Blade fight vampires." And we're like, "You know what, dickhead?
Yeah.
That's all we want. That's what we want. You did it.
You cracked the fucking code.
You use that as a threat. That's what we want."
Yeah, and to be honest, we want Wesley Snipes back. We want Old Man Blade.
I'll take Old Man Blade.
Old Man Blade would work.
Yes. And you just said, like, you mentioned I actually prefer Timothy Dalton too. He's doing great in some of the TV shows he is on. He would be, if Pierce Brosnan didn't want to do Old Man Bond, you could pull in Timothy Dalton and it would do just fine.
Jesus Christ, it worked back in the 70s when they got Connery back to do like Diamonds Are Forever. People went fucking nuts.
Yeah, but we really have. You're right, Wizard. We've slipped into apathy. No one cares about the new Superman. The numbers are tanking. No one cares about Fantastic Four.
Like, burn, baby, burn.
Yep. I'm sorry. As much as I
gotta make a video.
I say this all the time. I want these things to do well, but if you're going to continue to give us this dumb shit, then maybe going bankrupt is what it's going to take.
Well, the Superman thing. You mentioned Superman. That's crazy that Superman isn't projected well because it originally was. And more importantly, I had heard so many people talking about Superman, and then they killed themselves with every single trailer looking like absolute shit. I mean, did you guys see that James Gunn announced that they're removing the scene of Superman flying where he gets all fish-eyed and he looks goofy? They've cut that scene from the movie because of how poorly it's tested.
I think DC is suffering the same mistake Universal did just a few years ago. Universal, and I have some close friends who worked on this project and know people involved. Universal tried to do the Dark Universe crossover, and they did that Mummy movie with Tom Cruise. Okay. Yeah. They announced all the people. Johnny Depp was a part of it. Javier Bardem was supposed to be a part of it. There was this big push, this Dark Universe, and which, to me, as a horror fan, I'm all in. Like, let's do it. That sounds like fun. How do you screw that up?
Is one of my favorite movies.
How do you screw that up? Well, Universal did because they went all in on it. It's going to be a big crossover universe, and then they didn't make just the first good movie. And there's been the Superman movie. Think about it. Like, in my memory, Henry Cavill was fired not that long ago, which means that this movie was expedited. It was rushed out. It was quick. They threw millions and millions of dollars at this. And then on top of it, they didn't give people a reason to give a shit. Even the fans. You haven't given the people a reason to care. So you're not speaking to anyone. This Superman movie feels like gray matter product. I'm a Superman guy. Like the way that Sammy loves Batman, I love Superman.
Everybody makes this mistake. I'm a Superman guy as well. I just think Batman's more interesting to talk about for a show.
There's a lot more.
Okay, keep in mind as soon as Cape Cast ends, I'm starting Krypton Cast. I just thought Batman would be the best way to cement. People get this all the time. I have more Superman than I do anything, and simply because he is the mainstay. It was like the first video I ever did was about the Fleischer comics or the Fleischer cartoons. I have such appreciation for those because I feel it's the purest iteration of Superman because Superman had only been around for a couple of years. Kryptonite hadn't been invented yet. All of these things, when you look and you see what and a lot of it has to do with how bad movie trailers are these days. So there's no nuance to them anymore. So there was a trend that was going around. I'm sure you guys probably saw it or maybe even participated in it, where they were like, "Hey, here's the second Superman trailer. I edited it better." I made a
Philip
better
Chan
edit.
did that.
Yeah, Philip Chan did it. Diabolical Souls did it. Stupenzo did it. I had friends who did it, and it's not. So I'm willing to withhold all of that until I see the film. But I can tell you, I don't have high hopes. But the thing is, I want to have high hopes. I don't want a bad Superman movie to come out. I don't want a bad Marvel movie to come out. I don't want anything bad. It was like, and there's things about DC that I like, and like James Gunn, I thought he did fine with the Guardians movies. I thought that they kind of had like a system, and that system worked within the realm of Marvel.
And Guardians of the Galaxy works for James Gunn. He has a style.
Yeah, but immediately when I watch Creature Commandos, and it's like, oh, he's bringing this over for like Creature Commandos, and then and here's the thing, I remember the night before I went to go see Batman v Superman, and I was still dating my wife at the time. We weren't married yet, and we had tickets. We were going to see it like the premiere night. It was like, obviously I was like shitting my pants, so excited, and I decided to watch Man of Steel, and I was like, here is a Superman movie that doesn't explain what kryptonite is. It doesn't explain who Lex Luthor is. It doesn't explain anything. And it was like, now you want to bring in Batman, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor, and Doomsday. This is going to be a bad movie. I called her point blank. I was like, it's going to be a bad movie. And my buddy saw it. He saw it in the morning, and he's like, did you see the movie yet? And I was like, no. He's like, you got to call me after you see the movie, dude. Like, I don't think you're going to like the movie. And and so now I'm seeing things like this where, hey, hey, they got crypto. Cool. Finally, the best boy is getting some fucking shine, right? And then they're like, well, now we got Mr. Terrific, Meta fucking Morpho. Like, you're bringing in all of these characters,
Ultraman and
Ultraman,
the engineer or whatever her name is.
Yeah, engineer.
And then I'm seeing the other things like Amanda Waller is going to get her own movie. Like, why the fuck? Amanda Waller is one of the most unlikable characters in comics. You're going to give her a feature film? What the fuck is the matter with you? What I'm saying is you're going to oversaturate by throwing in all these auxiliary bullshit characters. Yes, should you maybe give an idea of what the Green Lantern Corps is? Absolutely, you should, especially if you plan on giving it a series. Should you have it be like a main character in the movie? No, you probably shouldn't, because it's Superman's first movie in this universe.
Yeah, it's already an ensemble. They want the success of the MCU without any of the time and work it takes to get there. They need to take time and care with Superman, just like they did with Iron Man. Take that time, let everything else work itself out in pieces. Just drip
the electricity that went through the crowd when we watch the Avengers, and there's that scene where like Loki's like, I said kneel, and then like Captain America comes down, and then all of a sudden you see fucking Iron Man go next to Captain America, and he's like, Mr. Stark, Captain.
Hell yeah, dude.
Everybody lost their mind. You know what I mean? Because that was built up.
It was earned.
Like, yes, 100%. You will never achieve that when you just shoehorn them in.
Yeah. Sorry. We can do it. We can do it in 3 movies. Like
they're doing it in 1. They're doing the same dumb shit that the Snyderverse did.
Yeah, they are. It's just a complete repeat.
DC is full on their content brain. All they care about is shitting out as much content as possible. The MCU was founded because somebody had a story to tell and a story to translate. Whereas DC was, let's just put out all this content. I mean, even with Marvel Rivals being successful, DC scrambled to put out content. They put out one of the worst mobile games I've ever had the dishonor of seeing. It's like it's the Fallout Shelter, but 10 times worse. Every single movie they put out, they're all about what content can we make. Well, let's put 20 characters in Superman so we can sell 20 different action figures. Let's tease all these movies so we can put out 1 million other shows. And Creature Commandos is just another point of content. Let's put out something
that's unwatchable. I couldn't stand that fucking show.
It's all because Warner Bros. Doesn't know how to make adult animation anymore because it's made exactly identical to.
Hey, don't you talk bad on Velma?
I was going to do it for Harley Quinn.
There you go.
Creature
No, but
Commandos
it was
is
a
nothing
good
more than a
example.
copy paste of Harley Quinn.
Look at DC Warner Brothers. Their animated universe for like 20 years was the
peak.
fucking zone where you would see things and go just like, guys, you don't even just do that. Do Justice League Doom. Okay. And by the way, we don't need an origin story anymore. I was like, God, I'm a Batman fan. I don't need to watch those pearls fall in slow motion anymore. We get it. We got it. Okay. It was like, you can start a movie where Superman is in the sky and Batman's like in a submarine, like checking something out, and they're like communicating, and people know who Batman and Superman are. You don't have to go like, well, by the way, he's this guy from Krypton. It was like the guy's more recognizable than the current sitting president. Okay.
And I'll tell you what, if they were brave and wanted to do something different, they'd make it a period piece and have the film series start out in the right at the end of World War II in the late 40s, early 50s, have the film span for about 20, 30 years on screen. Of course, it would go much quicker for us, maybe over the course of about a decade and a half, end in about the gritty late 70s, early 80s. So they'd cover all of those eras of the comic books and those stories that coexisted at that time. That'd be fucking ballsy, and it would be different.
Well, they tried that with Batman the Cape Crusader, right? It sounded great on paper. It sounded wonderful on paper. They were like, we're gonna do Golden Age Batman cartoons. Bruce Timm is coming back, and then they started putting modern, 2024 politics into something that's supposed to take place in the 1940s. And they're like, why does no one like this? And it was like, well, you shot yourself in the foot with your politics. And you know what the sad part is? Those politics could exist. There is an interesting story about putting a black woman or putting a lesbian couple in the 40s. But they're not openly kissing in restaurants. They're hiding it. They're going to hotel rooms. They're going, hey, if we get caught, I'm going to lose my job. Like there's
an interesting story about that, but it doesn't belong in a I'm saying it doesn't matter because Batman has orbital characters around him, right? Like you can do that, but you have to do it with some sort of tact. You have to understand that, like, yes, there was race. This was 20 years before the civil rights movement. This was 40 years before the gay rights movement. It's absolutely absurd that you're going to have like two lesbians kissing in a restaurant and go like, I don't understand what everybody's problem is. And we're like,
but Sammy, I'm glad that you mentioned the DC animated movie universe because I don't think people realize that they actually continued the universe after Justice League Apocalypse or whichever one it was. They had continued.
Apocalypse War.
Yeah, Apocalypse. They continued it after that with the Crisis movies, which nobody watched. I think I saw the first one.
They sucked. In my mind. They were terrible.
And let's not forget
they wasn't the same writers.
And they got that new studio that made all the characters look like they were in Archer. And
it's all what's wrong with adult animation is because they all want to go for lots of blood, lots of gore, lots of swear words, and they want to make it as immaturely mature as possible.
100%,
and without owning them whatsoever. It's all the Harley Quinn brain, and also
so they watch like the Spawn HBO series, and they're like, this is what people want, and it was like, kind of like I would like to watch a cartoon that has those things in it. But they had those things in it. But that's appropriate to the universe that it's in. Okay, Batman's not going to do well.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what? It's across the board though. There's problems like this in every facet of media. So I mean, you've got the Superman movie here. I think this is going to be like the first real nail in the coffin of the superhero genre.
I agree.
I think
Because
combined
when
with
we find out
Fantastic Four, yeah.
When this movie doesn't make $1 billion, which I don't see it having a path to $1 billion, and you're going to have the Snyder fans patting themselves on the back saying Man of Steel did better. You're James Gunn's not going to be able to outlive that. That's not going to be good. No. Fantastic Four is not going to make $1 billion.
You think about this. It's a Fantastic Four movie with Galactus. Like, we're going to see Galactus, and it's not going to break $1 billion.
If they didn't, I believe this movie would have done better, even with Pedro Pascal, if they had an authentic Silver Surfer. I think
100%. That's what killed it.
That's turn off. That you're losing so much of the audience that wanted to see a proper Norrin Rad again. I mean, when you're
100%. Someone laughed at me. She didn't get it because she's like, "Oh, and this girl plays a Silver Surfer," and then I retweeted her and I quoted her. I said, "A Silver Surfer," and she responded back. She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "There isn't a Silver Surfer. There's the Silver Surfer. That's it." Yeah. Okay, if you want to, those people are always like, "Well, there's that one panel in this offshoot in this Elseworld."
Yeah, but hey, you know what? It was in the comics, wasn't good before, but now it fits a narrative, so it's in the comics now, and it's all the shitty comics that are killing the comic book industry.
Yeah,
but now, okay, so be it. You have decided that is what you're going to do. Yep. Now you're going to have to live with it.
This is the equivalent of like a foil cover variant in the comics, like where they were like, well, it's Silver Surfer. It's just a different one. We like, and the worst part is I think they made it Shia LaBeouf, which is Norrin Rad's girlfriend, which exasperates the problem even fucking worse. Where where they're like in the same movie where they're like, guys, Reed Richards is the smartest man ever. Like it was like he's the end all say all intellect in the Marvel universe, and they're like, well, Sue Storm's going to be the hero. And you're like, how?
I think that's all bluff.
How?
I think that's all just.
I hope.
I don't actually believe any of that. They keep showing her.
This is somebody you were arguing with, defending the female Silver Surfer.
100%.
But it's funny because all this about the Silver Surfer and whatnot, and who goes to prove, it used to be that people needed a reason not to go see a movie. They just go and see movies because they existed. But they've broken that habit, and they've created a system where movies are generally quite shit. So now you need a reason to go and see the movie. They have to put everything right on the table, or else you're not going to be interested. And replacing Norrin Rad with Shia LaBeouf is a reason to not go see the movie, and that's usually enough. Being comic accurate is the reason to go.
It is very easy to not get in your car and drive to a movie theater. You know why? Yeah. Because there's millions of things you could be watching. There's millions of other things you could be doing. You could be watching this show in particular here on YouTube and wherever else we're streaming. You could also subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. But the movies haven't earned your time anymore. They haven't earned your investment. It costs more money to go. It's not a fun experience. Movie theaters are sparse and far away now. Like they're not close.
Crazy expensive.
Good ones have all shut down. It's crazy expensive. It costs over $100 to take a family of 5. They need to earn your money, and they do not care to earn your money because they hate you. They actively say this. They don't care about you. They don't care.
And then when you say you don't like it, they attack you.
Well, they attack you. Right. This is only confusing if you think that their goal is to make good movies. So you think about it this way: the purpose of a thing is what it does, right? So the purpose of the media that's being produced now across the media landscape is to demoralize you. That's the point, because they hate you. It's being made by people who hate you on a deep personal level. They don't think that your views matter, and they don't think that you should continue to live. And they want you to hate your life so much that you opt out. Like that's their goal. That's what they want. Like Black James Bond. The reason I say no to Black James Bond isn't because I dislike black people, or even because I think James Bond couldn't be black. It's because I will not grant another inch to these virtue signaling goblins that want to destroy Western civilization and replace it with gay race communism. I won't give another inch to the gay race communists. This far,
you said what I can vocalize. Like I felt it I didn't. Yeah, no, that was perfect. Another thing too is like I grew up in the 90s and watched comic book movies evolve, and then like we saw in the early 2000s that you can actually bring this stuff to screen, and you can do it accurately, and you can do it well, and then it just got hijacked by these Marxists that we were talking about. Me and Iron were talking about this last night on Make Me a Sandwich. It was like, when's the last time you saw a competent dad on television?
Right?
Like,
Donald Duck.
Oh,
Donald
go
Duck
ahead.
is the last time Disney did a competent dad. Seriously.
no, I
He's not
agree.
even a dad.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
Goofy.
true.
Goofy was a competent
Actually,
dad.
Goofy
in
was
Goofy.
a
He was a
very
great
good
dad.
dad.
I will say,
Yeah.
I'll say
Donald
Terry
Duck-
Crews and Everybody Hates Chris was the last time I remember a good TV dad.
Oh, okay,
And that's
okay,
the last
okay.
one
I can think of.
especially.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
really
that's
good. To that
Yeah.
point,
His
all
only
Theo's
flaw
point-
was he was a cheapskate, and that was
Yeah,
more comical than anything.
I never saw a
Yeah.
black Jewish man, but I'll take it.
It's well, and here's the thing. I think even those of us who didn't grow up not everybody grew up with a black dad, but a lot of us grew up with a cheapskate dad who worked all the time. Right?
I was gonna say there's
Very
plenty of
relatable.
people who didn't grow up with a black dad.
Oh shit!
Damn it.
By the way, we were rated by New Black Street. Thank you guys.
Not me who
Shout
didn't.
out.
Perfect.
Every time we're
Time.
doing something racist, New Blackstreet shows up.
I know, like, hey, what's going up, guys? Oh, these motherfuckers.
Hold on.
But to both Sammy's and Theo's points here about the dad and how it's all about people who hate us, I got to see How to Train Your Dragon, and it's a recopy of How to Train Your Dragon by people who hate you and dads. Problem is, the guy Gerard Butler is such a great actor that Stoic still came out on top as being the best character in the movie. But throughout the entire thing, they're constantly denigrating Hiccup in a way that attacks the audience. They're constantly actually trying to say
Really?
the message. Yeah, loosely, yeah, and all of it is like there's a line in
cook
it
for a
where
second, I'll
Hiccup
be right back.
Hiccup tells Astrid that she should be leading them.
Oh my
He actually
god.
tells
Fuck off.
Hiccup tells Astrid
Really?
that Astrid, now her motivation is she wants to take Hiccup's house. She wants the house, the big house on the big hill for being the chief. That's her motivation now, is to take Hiccup's house. And
So she's a usurper. Cool.
yep, that's what they want now. And like they're during the
Very
major
empowering.
climax, there's a scene where the alpha goes to eat Astrid and her dragon by sucking them in. In this one, the dragon grabs Astrid's dragon's tail, and Astrid jumps into its mouth and knocks its teeth out. Whereas in the original one, Astrid is saved by Toothless and Hiccup flying by and blasting it.
I'm glad I didn't see it now.
It somehow, the worst part is this is the one that's being praised as the most accurate, because it ultimately is the most accurate live action movie.
But
They
they
keep
still
very
it's to your point. I've described this as the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood meme, where it's like, oh, you catch it, and it's the very subtle things. You could point it out for any movie that's virtually coming out now. It's so subtle, it's so discreet, and only if you know that it's there will you catch it. Which means, what's it doing to everybody that doesn't know to look?
I mean, even my
It's
dad,
just-
who is in this world, missed a lot of the girl boss stuff and the feminist bullshit. I don't know how he missed it, but he's not a normie. He's like us, and he's missing all of these cues because he's captivated by the flashy colors.
like, did you guys see Nosferatu? That movie is
Yes.
not aging well in my mind for me, because, and even then, even watching it in real time, it's like, I see it. I see the hatred of men in your message. I see it.
Yes,
I
100%.
see the girl bossing. It's
y- y-
there.
You-
But it
you-
shouldn't
oh,
be.
okay. Well, to be fair though, the girl has always kind of been the hero in Nosferatu. The girl
But
has
there's a
always been
discrete hate. There's a very clear
100%. The thing that killed the movie for me is who was the guy who kept getting praise, where it's like, oh my god, he's completely the guy who played Pennywise. He's playing Nosferatu.
Skarsgård.
No, the Skarsgård.
Yeah,
One of them.
Bill Skarsgård.
Okay, the reason that I hate the movie is because he is doing a very raspy voice of Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. That's
He's
why
doing
I didn't
Nosferatu from the book.
He's like, Dee, get out of my laboratory.
Are we still talking about How I Trained Your Dragon, or what have we moved on to?
No, we're talking about
Nosferatu and how they're even good movies. They're sneaking in the girl bossing stuff into it.
Yeah, I'm so sick of the girl bossing thing. I remember I took my mom to go see the Barbie movie, and now, granted, my mom is like, she knew all like. I didn't know that Barbie had lore, right? Like, so she was like, "Oh, and that was a reference to this." She was having a great time. It was probably like in 6th grade when my uncle took me to go see X-Men, and you know, and it was like, you know, you saw Sabretooth. There was like, his name's Victor Creed. It's never been confirmed if that's Wolverine's brother or not, but there's like a blood flute. And, you know, he's like, shut up, can we just watch the movie? Actually, Hugh Jackman is much too tall for the role. You know, like, you know, like
I didn't know I went to the movie theater with you. I forgot all about that.
but I'm saying she's doing all that shit to me, but for like Barbie. And there was one part that I lost my mind in. It wasn't the rant where, you know, like, you know, women, they gotta be happy and they gotta be tall, but they gotta be small at the same time, and they gotta cook ramen noodles, and they can't be too hot and they can't be too cold, and if they're too cold, they gotta be just right. Like, you know, that whole part. It was when like Antifa daughter was like, you know, and the dad said something in Spanish, you know, to try and get closer to his Spanish wife and like mixed race daughter, and he said something in Spanish, and the girl is like, "Dad, that's cultural appropriation." It was like, "No, you dumb bitch. That's a man trying to learn a language. That's a man trying to appreciate his wife. That's a man trying to better himself. Hell is too good for you."
That was one thing I liked about the Barbie movie. Like, I tried watching it, I couldn't get through it, but I did like how a lot of the different points all flip-flopped on their head, and actually, like, Ken turned out to be the sympathetic hero of the movie. The dad, everybody was just the dad you were talking about. Everybody's like, yeah, you're supposed to shit on him and think he's retarded. No, everybody felt sorry for him, and he was just trying his best to be a better part of his own family.
Oh, it pissed them off to no end that Ken and ended up being like the unsung hero of the story, because they were trying everything. It was like, oh, he's gonna watch The Godfather and talk about the Snyderverse, and you know, he just wants to play guitar on the beach. It was like, no, he just wants this bitch to notice him. That's it. Yeah. Like, you know, like, you know,
this happens every single time you let the feminists open their mouths. They always tattle on themselves. It's like Theo always talks about Untouched Grass. Women have no desire to have a capacity for empathy for men, and they will never act on that unless they have a reason to. They do not want to feel sorry for you because in their mind you are a demigod, and that is how they will continue to treat you. And so when they speak their mind, they don't reveal reality, they reveal their personal bias against you. They reveal how much they hate you by saying how much you must hate them, because that's how they feel about you.
Well, this actually plays into something that Theo was saying before. I'm sorry, Iron, if you got something that you want to show.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So, like, because what you guys, it all crosses over, and this is something I've been talking about on my channel since I started. It's an attack on not just men. It's not just an attack on political ideology. It's not just an attack on, you know, X, Y, and Z. It's not even just incompetence at the people making these things. It's an attack on heroism, and that's not male or female.
Agreed.
It is a direct attack on heroism, and specifically storytelling. That is what they are after.
Perfect. You want to know why every and Disney did this for a while, where we had to have a origin movie for every villain, or everyone, all of them
because
always have
all
a
the
tragic backstory. It's because none of them have morality anymore. Their morals are so fucked up that it was like, sometimes they made an origin movie about a woman who wants to kill 101 puppies and turn them and try to turn that into a sympathetic character.
All because two dogs killed her mama.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me? Is that the actual plot?
No, okay, it gets worse. Okay, it's worse. It's worse.
Yeah.
This Devil Wears Prada type woman who's an asshole to everybody has 2 Dalmatians who don't maul Krilla's mother to death. They don't do anything to her mother. They push her off of a ledge.
She
woman
scared off of a cliff, and
she
she
scared off
blames
a
God.
cliff by 2 Dalmatians, and so therefore all the Dalmatians need to die.
But I'm saying, so I got it with what's the one with Angelina Jolie?
Maleficent wasn't actually bad.
Okay, Maleficent wasn't actually bad. Maleficent basically is kind of a carbon copy of Wicked, where they're like, hey, this is we took the story of the Wizard of Oz and we flipped it on its head, and we made the Wicked Witch a sympathetic character because we saw it, from her eyes. That was fine. And then as soon as that did well, they're like, well, we need to do this over and over everybody. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we didn't get Ursula or
that's down the pipeline. Or that was down the pipeline.
I'm sure it was. Oh my God, a fat bitch with tentacles. Disney was gonna eat that.
It was modeled after a drag queen. Why? Of course they're gonna do that.
The story they were gonna tell is how Triton was because Triton and Ursula are siblings. Ursula is Triton's sister, and so it's all about how King Triton. No, I believe that they were siblings. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And so the whole thing was going to be how King Triton took the kingdom from Ursula.
His squid side piece, who was a little miffed.
That would have been a better story.
In all of these modern actresses, what do? They get cast in these what are
No, they don't get cast. They get installed. Let's be entirely clear. These roles are made for these modernist women in mind.
That should shoot a rocket up of your ass, right? So obviously, Snow White is the best one, best example. But even before what's her face got cast as Black Ariel, which, by the way,
Beaver,
I didn't have a fucking problem with that. Like I said, it's a fictional thing. I had problems when people said, "Well, white people have no culture," and I was like, "No, the Little Mermaids."
That was actually that's
a fairy tale. That's our culture. That's actually our culture. I that's the only time I put my foot down. Casting, I'm usually fine. I'm just like what Theo said. I'm just now refusing to give these people ground because they're not doing it because this person is perfect for the part. They're doing it to check off a box. Okay,
no, long gone are the days where Michael Clark Duncan was cast because he looked like fucking Kingpin,
and then he killed it.
Dude, I love Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin.
I thought it was fantastic.
100%. But also, they do this and then they shit on the characters too, right? So I love this. I would never give up my voice for a man. Or it was like, well, you know what, bitch, then you don't love him.
Did
that was the point of the story, is that she loved this guy so much she gave up her ability to speak to just get closer to the guy.
That is perfect to what Fake Wizard was saying about how they hate morality and how it's all about destroying heroism. Because what is the heroic traits is delay of gratification. It is stoicism. It is allowing yourself to persevere through sacrifice. What is it that the modernists are telling you? Hedonism. The world is your oyster and it owes you everything. The world. Well, God didn't give you a pony, so we're going to apologize.
They tried to make Wanda sympathetic.
I'm gonna be a legend. I'm gonna be, it's all about what she is going to be perceived as, and not how what she is going to do for others. Like,
remember, she's
and
using magic to
Tony
skip
Stark was a narcissist, but he also realized his weapons were fucking killing people. It was just a character flaw that he overcame.
He made the final play. He did what Captain America said he was never gonna do. It was like, hey, when the chips are down, you're not gonna jump on the grenade. You're not gonna do. That's what he did. Okay, and now he might have did it out of spite. He might have did it out of personal growth. No, he had a daughter and he had a different worldview. That is a immense growth.
And you even saw the growth in Iron Man 1. Just the fact, like that first village that he, sobers up and goes and takes care of fucking business. He was, by the end, he does the I am Iron Man because that's part of the character. But for the most part, everything else was,
But another thing, like I said, they tried. Wanda Maximoff took an entire town hostage for over a year, and they had to go. They'll never know what you sacrificed. It was like they'll crazy.
They'll never know what you gave up for them.
And then I've been imaginary kids all the time, where I was like, this is actually comic accurate. Wanda Maximoff always feels she's in the right. She's not a hero. She's been in the evil Brotherhood of Mutants. That is the name of the group. They are fucking bad guys. Sometimes he falls in with them, and they're like, "Yeah, no, I agree with you." Okay, but you have one was like, "You just don't like strong female characters." It's like, no, are you trying to tell me that what she was doing was morally correct?
But I mean, just look at Ironheart, right? What is the number one word they want you to associate with Ironheart, other than criminal, fatherless, and smoke detector? They want you to think of her as iconic. That's what they want. Everything she does is iconic. So cheating and using magic to get ahead and avoid the personal sacrifice and discovery is iconic. Using cheat codes to break everything. She's not being pointed as doing something wrong when she uses magic to hack her robot suit. She's being praised as iconic and an icon and special because she's cheating to get ahead.
For self-sacrificing reasons.
This is actually really important.
To save people would be one thing, but go ahead, Theo.
Yeah, this is actually a really important idea. So if you want to gain icon status legitimately, it takes time and lore, and you have to. But the gay race communists believe that words shape reality, and they're propagandists, and they believe that if they just hit you with words over and over and over again, if they just fire hose it into your brain, that eventually you'll believe it. So that's why we all know the word iconic is associated with Ironheart. That's why we all reflexively know that. Even though we roll our eyes at it, the slack-jawed masses that buy things off of Facebook ads, they don't, right? They just go and buy things, right? Because they're told to. And the gay race communists know that if they just fire hose it into your brain all the time, most people are going to consume it uncritically. And
they're trying to manifest.
And this icon status is unearned. Why? Because they don't believe in the concept of earning it. They don't believe in merit. They don't believe in hard work. They just think that they can create reality by repeating words enough. That's how they think. That's how they think. That's how they think people who have things by merit got it. They think it just fell out of the sky because the silver spoon. They took it. They don't believe in any kind of legitimate hierarchy. They don't believe that anything, any kind of status or any kind of accomplishment can be earned because they don't have it, right? If meritocracy were real, because they believe themselves to be the smartest and the most specialist, right? And they're deeply resentful that they don't have the accomplishments of better people, right? So they don't believe in merit. They think they can just make it happen. And they hate people. They hate people who have real beliefs and genuine accomplishments and genuine creativity and genuine icon status. They're deeply, deeply, deeply resentful and they want to destroy you. And we should light them on fire in the street. That's it.
I have to ask you a question, Theo. Do you know Ironheart's? Do you know Ironheart's lore?
I don't.
One of her early stories. One of her early stories is that she gets mad at her Harvard professor for not being racist towards her, so because she wants the teacher to be racist.
That is the origin story. Her teacher tells her she can do anything she wants, and if she wants to be like Tony Stark, she can be like Tony Stark. And she's like, "No, you're supposed to be telling me I can't do these things, so I'll resent you and do better." Mm-hmm. And the teacher, out of frustration, "Fine, you'll never be Tony Stark." And that's when she's like, "Ooh, Tony Stark."
Yeah,
it's a villain origin story. That's not an origin story of a hero, but they don't understand heroes.
Has
like
anyone missed the nuance of this character's
they
name
have-
is Riri?
What's the nuance behind that other than it sounds retarded?
I mean, I don't know.
She's
I was a
green.
kid growing
She
up.
reads all the time. That's
No,
ridiculous.
it's retarded. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like when I was a kid, it was like, I don't know, seems a little Riri, you know, like
Oh, you're right. I guess where I grew up, we always went for the second syllable. We always go tard or tarded or
oh,
tarded.
yeah.
Tardo.
I'll never forget in my what is it, my lit class where this guy was late the second day in a row, and the teacher was like, "You're tardy again." And I was like, "I guess that makes you retardy."
Shit.
And then I got detention. But
well, speaking, we were talking about things that aren't earned. I found this pretty funny. This has been making the rounds. And we talked about this the other night on Make Me a Sandwich, but I want to bring it up again because it's just too funny not to. And we were talking about sitcoms earlier too. Patricia Richardson says she used her 1 million home improvement pay gap with co-star. Well, let me reiterate. Or she considers him her co-star, Tim Allen, to end the series because.
okay. By the way, we can even look at the name, like the names of what she's posing for, and look at the name in front of Tim Allen. Like, I don't know.
No.
Well, I don't even know what.
And
Yeah. It was like that. That's all you need. Yes, this was a show constructed around the stand-up comedy of Tim Allen, and like we said last night, I'm going to recycle this joke from last night. There was a character that stood behind a fence that didn't show his face that was more beloved than she was. Okay, like, and then she wants to know why she wasn't getting the same pay, and all of these fucking retard journalists have to act like they don't know what the answer is. Like, I don't know, why is that? Why wasn't she making the same amount of money as Tim Allen, even though she wasn't writing on the show, or the show wasn't about her at all, or she was totally replaceable?
I just can't take these people seriously when their job is to pretend. That's their job, is to make pretend, and they get an ungodly amount of money. Like,
and they're mad that it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
We got people out here busting their asses right now, like keeping the world alive, and you get to read some words that some idiot wrote, and you make an ungodly amount of money.
She doesn't realize her job was to just be his wife. Pretend to be
your job is supposed to go, Tim.
They're to slightly move the plot along.
She's mad that he got paid 1 million more.
They didn't write real jokes.
Your job is to go, Tim, and he's supposed to go,
That's it. That's fucking it.
That's it.
So she's angry at him because he got paid $1 million more, which means both of their things were either very small amount of pay or they were both being paid multiple millions of dollars for this show. So you're bitching that that instead of getting 7, you got 6 or something like that. I'm sure it's much more extreme than that.
I want to live in a world where we stop listening to journalists, but we also stop listening to actors and celebrities, because they are usually having spent copious amounts of time working in the Comic-Con circuit. Stop listening to celebrities. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Like,
she's worth 20 million. She's worth $20 million.
She's worth 20 million. Yeah, she can fuck off. Fuck right off.
Need maybe $1 million.
Sammy is also worth $20 million.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah, she's also completely replaceable. Like, she was a brunette who should have been happy to be there. Like, it's crazy that like the whole show wouldn't exist without it's based on Tim Allen's stand-up, and he was the centerpiece of the show, and it wouldn't exist without him. And she could have been any other similar aged brunette. Like, it's not that she didn't add anything to the show, but she was infinitely replaceable.
I want to know if she got paid more than Pam Anderson did.
I'm sure
Pam
she
Anderson
did.
was at the height of like her hotness, right?
Yeah, but she then immediately got Baywatch, like, and they.
I think she was doing them both.
She was. Oh, then they must have been paying her good if she was willing to do both. Hopefully they were paying her just so that add a little more salt to that fucking wound that she clearly has festering over the last 40 fucking years.
Pull up her picture again. Let me.
Sure.
This woman looks like she got bit by a vampire and she's trying to help the good guys and she's trying to hide it. Like, this is.
She also looks like she's probably at one of those fucking protests that hardly anybody show up for except for like old boomer women.
Yeah. Oh, so the No Kings.
Right. But the one in like the nice neighborhoods that are just very, just a bunch of fucking old divorced wives that have nothing else to do on a fucking Tuesday afternoon because they don't work.
CNN said it and I believe it. And
he's gonna deport my gardener.
Who's gonna clean my toilets now?
I know. Pick my cotton.
Oh shit, fire. All right, let's see what else we got. We
I'm
want
glad
to
you
talk
mentioned the
about
pic-
bitches fighting.
Always.
All right. I didn't think that I'd ever be talking about women's basketball at all or on this show, but why not? Let's go for it.
Yeah, let's talk about women and their balls. Great idea.
Women don't have balls, Arza.
Oh, some of the WNBA players turn.
Ours is Gen Z.
Well, let's back this up from the beginning. Got a few of them pulled up, but I obviously picked this one along with a few others. So apparently that's Caitlin Collins' teammate, who's now become pretty much overshadowing Caitlin Collins, and I can't figure out why, because she clearly gets jabbed in the eye, and then she just comes and bodies this bitch. Good. What is your take on this? I'm starting to feel like this is becoming almost like pro wrestling.
Well, okay, so this whole focus on women's basketball is a psyop to get young men to waste money on sports betting apps. So
that makes sense. See,
it's still completely unwatchable. But so ESPN started pushing this Caitlin Clark Angel Reese rivalry while they were still in college, and then the year that they turned pro was the same year that ESPN dropped its sports betting app, and the WNBA season happens in kind of like a lull in sports where other sports are kind of like where men's sports are kind of cooling off. And so it gives people an opportunity to like throw in weird parlays and stuff. Like there's a popular one right now on the apps where is Angel Reese going to miss her first shot of the game? And it hits almost 100% of the time. There's also an account on Instagram that tracks WNBA players' periods. And like every 4 weeks they have like a lull where they have shitty stats, and it's like, okay, so then they watch that, they track it, and they predict it. See, this is what they didn't realize when you invited men to be a fan of your sport, and then the WNBA players are like, people are criticizing me on Twitter. It's like, that's how men enjoy sports. They say mean things to their favorite athletes on Twitter. They track their periods. They do all this stuff so that they can get the inside edge and they can place bets. That's part of what, the having a big fan base means is you're going to get most of being a professional athlete is getting wave after wave after wave of pitiless criticism where they resent you deeply, and they're just using you to vent their rage. I mean, ask ask LeBron James about unfair criticism.
Yeah,
sometime.
If Shaq was going to menstruate, everybody would have known when Shaq menstruated.
100%.
Well, that's just because you need a full crew to clean that up.
Yeah. You're gonna need 4 or 5 mops.
But no, this is a psyop to push sports betting, and the fact that ESPN, worldwide leader in sports media, has their own sports betting app is viscerally disgusting to me on a deep level. It's a sign that our society's descended deeply into decadence. I can't wait till the bottom falls out of this economy and people are selling their children for a can of beans, because we'll have more morality then, and people will go back to church. Thank you.
Right. That makes a lot of sense, because I was starting to say shit doesn't add up. Because look at this chick and look at your average WNBA player. She's now gaining popularity. Everybody's fucking talking about it. This looks like a plant. And I've watched the replay of what started it, the little fight here. And it looks kind of suspicious. I mean, she definitely got,
turning into pro wrestling. It's turning into pro
That's what I'm
wrestling.
saying.
No one's
Look, when I go to a hockey game, I hope a fight breaks out. When I go to a WNBA game, I hope it gets canceled.
Mm-hmm.
But these women are fighting because it's a whole bunch of people with too much testosterone for their tiny little bodies, all being put in an area where none of them were taught how to handle their little feelings. And now they're being faced with somebody who actually has an ounce of skill. And when somebody has skill compared to you just being a gassed up mid, that's when you're going to throw a tantrum. You're going to throw fists, you're going to gouge their eyes, you're going to take your earrings out, because you have your only instinct is to get rid of the popular girl who's taken away your limelight.
Okay. Reese Clark and who's that dumb bitch who was smoking weed in Russia and got arrested?
Brittany Griner.
Oh, that Britney fella.
Oh yeah,
Britney's probably a man too.
All of those dudes aside, who's your favorite WNBA player? Let's go through the panel. We can go team. Who's your favorite team? Yeah,
I don't know the teams.
Yeah, me either. Anyone?
Who?
Oh, wait, hold on. Cameron something. Wait, Paige Beckers. I know her because she talks black for some reason.
I was going to say the Detroit Shock, but apparently the Detroit Shock hasn't been a thing for like 10 years.
I'm a sucker. The psyop's working. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck that is. That's my favorite.
Yeah, no, I like them tall.
Hey, a wild Professor Savage Dad.
I would climb a ladder just to eat her ass.
Oh yeah, I would go up on her.
You just sat down. Who starts a conversation like that?
My boy, my fucking boy does.
Yeah.
He wants to go up on a nice tall Amazon.
That is the best intro I've ever seen.
Slava Ukraine, baby. Slava Ukraine.
Thighs.
Yeah, this is all about sports betting. I don't think
I completely agree.
Yeah, I had this fight. It's crazy because despite having its best year ever, the WNBA still lost a tremendous amount of money last year because they spent all the new money they made on new amenities for the players, because the players were like, oh, why can't we get private jets? Why can't we get this and that? So the NBA didn't get private jets until it made financial sense for them to do so, because the league started to make a lot of money in the late 80s and early 90s that needed to fly players to places quickly. And it didn't make sense time-wise to fly commercial anymore. The WNBA got it for equity reasons, right? So it still didn't make financial sense for them to do it. They just did it to be nice. I remember trying to explain this to my communist friend, and she didn't understand what I meant by, I was like, well, you have to get straight men to like the game so that there's enough people spending money on it. She's like, well, I know lesbians who are excited. I was like, there's not enough lesbians to buy tickets and merch. She's like, are you saying they need to cater to the male gaze? And I was like, no, this is a math issue. You just need straight men. That's who spends money on sports. You need a lot of them to like the league and buy tickets and merch, and then the players can make more money, and then you can fly private. But that right now it runs at a loss every single year, and it's owned by a bunch of investors and corporations. Like that's like it just, this is not a viable business, right? But what it does do is it generates a lot of revenue for sports betting, because you've got, like I said, the Instagram accounts tracking players' periods. You've got all these weird parlays, and and they've psyoped us into thinking that some of these players are fun to watch, whether for skill reasons or horny reasons. And I think that the real problem with WNBA is like you used to be able to say, you guys don't know how good these players are because you don't watch the games. And now we've watched the games. We're watching Angel Reese shoot and shoot and miss and shoot and miss and grab 6 of her own rebounds. It's like watching my niece is 12, same skill level. Same skill level at her level of basketball.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the same.
Well, look at Megan Rapinoe versus any team of 12-year-old boys.
Mhm.
Exactly. So, Theo, wait, you're telling me an entire league, not just filled with women, but coached by women and run in many cases by women, spent more money than they made?
Yes.
Look, and you know, if you want to market towards lesbians, by all means, you get you get literally you get 3% of the budget the NBA gets, because that's approximately a percentage of people out there who are lesbians that will watch the NBA.
You know who's not watching the WNBA anymore? Let me show you. This is funny.
I was like, all of us.
I just came across this.
Probably.
I never watch it. No.
JoJo Sawwell.
That was great. I love that he fixed her.
Not a lesbian. Yes.
Yes.
Not anymore.
Dude, I love to see it.
She
She's
actually
so
returned her U-Haul. See, this is the thing. I don't believe that lesbians watch the WNBA because U-Haul would be sponsoring the fuck out of that shit if they did. Period. That's why I don't believe it.
The players can't travel, but you can.
Yeah, that was my problem with the women's sports discourse has always been women were like, why don't you watch it? It's like, we watch our sports. You watch your own sports. It's like they don't want to watch their sports, but they want us to have to watch it. And it's not just they want us to watch it and say out loud that it's just as good as our sports because that would feel good emotionally, but it's not true, right?
But
go ahead.
Let him finish.
Oh,
But when people yeah, you finished, Theo. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, they want us to say out loud that it's just as good as our sports and we find it just as interesting and they're just as talented and Brittany Griner could beat the NBA players one-on-one. They want us to say all those things because it would feel good emotionally if it were true. And you also got to understand a lot of these women are completely fiction brained. Like they've completely lost touch with reality and they've been getting the fire hose pumped into their brain of tiny little girls beating up giant Russian guys their whole life. So they've completely lost track of the fact that men and women are physically different, right? So they want us to sit with them and embrace the lie and repeat it so that's comforting that women's sports are just as interesting and just as good. And there are women's sports where the female athletes do comparably well to the male athletes. Tennis, women's MMA, beach volleyball. So basically, if the uniform is underwear, the female athletes do fine. Right. And this is the thing. Nobody wants to admit that this is true. I've said this in numerous comedy clubs. It never goes well. I promise this is definitely true.
If you want the funny one, you bring up women's hockey because my mom and sister especially my mom keeps trying to AfroTurf women's hockey into being something worth watching. You're going to take a bunch of women, you're going to put them in a fuck ton of gear so you can't tell they're women. You're going to make them play on a smaller rink and they're not allowed to hit each other. And that's what you're going to call that a new sport. You can't check in women's hockey. It's not allowed.
There's a reason why the number one viewership of the Summer Olympics is always the women's beach volleyball. There's a fucking reason.
Oh, yeah. Team Brazil, bro. They don't even need to jump. They just hit the ball with their asses and they fucking spike it. Like, damn. But Theo, I just want to say, you're close. Now, see, Brittany Griner cannot beat a man one-on-one. You're absolutely correct, but she can beat the shit out of her wife one-on-one multiple times too.
Oh no. Yeah. R.I.P. Pour one out for the home.
Brought to you by U-Haul.
Official sponsor of Brittany Griner's ex-wife moving out.
Now to pivot back to our last topic of the night. This is still pretty funny to me that I only mildly familiar with this chick. I know she was a Disney girl, and before that, she was on Dance Moms. Now, my wife filled me in on this because she watched the show. Apparently, which from what little I caught of Dance Moms, it was just basically child abuse, but on TV. Right. This chick's mom would make her do an anything if she thought it would mean she would become famous. So it's no surprise that right at the peak of all of this, the LGBT cult insanity, this happens. And now her whole story has changed. She meets a dude, and now this is her now. And I was pressured into calling myself lesbian. This is the truth about me and Chris Hughes. So there she is. She looks happy. She looks like a regular girl now. Going back to this, but there's some more in here. I'm going to go to this one. Now, she made comments and she opened up about her new relationship with men. She said she felt pressure from the LGBT community, according to UMag. Now, I don't doubt that, but I think there was also a lot of pressure coming from her parents.
Like she's born to be a lesbian.
I'm in the same generation.
I mean, you put anybody in that getup, and of course. Now, you got to also understand she was... Yeah, she was starved as a kid, the typical dance gymnastic kid that, that they.
Oh, her mother was terrible.
Yeah.
So I remember some of the stuff when she was kind of coming up on the scene, because I think her and I are about the same age, if not the exact same age. And before she took her hiatus, because, she disappeared from the scene for about 4 or 5 years before coming back as
I'll take your word for it.
Gay thing. Yeah.
Gay thing, yeah.
The post, a lot of the comments were talking about how badly they hope she's a lesbian, how badly they want her to not be straight. Sorry, someone just into my
right.
Close my door.
Well, and I mean, we saw the same thing kind of happen with who's that singer that always fucking whispers? And it's like, you're a lesbian, right? You're a lesbian. And she's like, finally, fuck it, I'm a lesbian. She's never been seen with a woman, and it'll probably just like with that other Disney, the Hannah Montana chick, who did it for a while to get some headlines. And of course, that didn't fucking last.
I miss Hannah Montana.
I'm sure you do.
I think it all checks out. I mean, I still believe
that
ours is only gay because clicks. When
I still think his mom convinced him he's bi.
You're going to be, yeah, exactly. When you're 35, I think you're going to be married with a lovely wife.
God, I hope so.
The best fucking peach cobbler ever, and you'll never want to see a dick again.
Yeah. By the way,
the thing is.
Sorry, go ahead.
I hope so too.
My wife just confirmed. So Billie Eilish, it's Billie Eilish. That's right. Yeah, she got bullied into saying she's a lesbian, but she's with a guy now. Mm-hmm. But she still claims to be a lesbian just to keep the fucking wolves at bay.
Dude, I identify as a lesbian. Anybody can do it. It's 2025.
Both my sisters identified as lesbians for a few years, and now they're both straight.
Right.
They were always straight.
Mm-hmm.
My twin, especially, she just hated men, and her hatred for men made her think that she should be with women instead. And that's a lot of them too. They hate men, and so they convince themselves that they're attracted to women to make up for the fact they have personal beef with men.
Yeah. By the way, I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear shit the next time I try to fix one of these bitches. I don't want to hear shit because we have documented proof that it's possible.
You do. Some women will fix ours
for
too. It works the whole way.
I hope so. I'm so glad you're so hopeful for me, Savage Dad.
I am. You just need, 36 double D's of boob, and you take that medicine, you'll be fine.
Oh,
damn right.
But Theo's, are you dishing out the medicine for these women?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got 8 inches of vitamin D for him.
Yeah.
He's giving him the Tricoxagon.
That's right.
I'm training a bunch of assistants to help with summer camp, and the number of 18 to 22-year-old women who hate men astounds me.
Yeah.
It's social conditioning.
They say
just like
cool.
how a lot of especially young women are being socially conditioned to think or at least want to be lesbian because it comes from the conditioning, the misplaced hatred of men. Some of it is, they had maybe 1 or 2 bad experiences. Other had no experience. They're just not, that's just how they're fucking, it's drilled in their head
what
from
the
an
bad
early
experience
age.
would be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is social media conditioning. So what happens is a woman has a bad experience with a man, and then she makes a video on TikTok, and then millions of women watch it. Now all of them have had that bad experience, and they can't delineate. After a while, they can't delineate between the bad experiences that they've had.
It's like a hive mind.
And exactly. Mm-hmm. So, and this is actually in a small social group. This can be a a way for women to bond, but it's just been completely hijacked and turned into a propaganda machine by these.
So shocking indictment why women shouldn't vote.
Yeah. Oh man, you just made me think of something, Theo. This is a lot, and I'm sure a lot of us older guys that went to high school in the from the late 90s through the early 2000s can relate. You all know, like when you go to high school, and if there's the group of girlfriends, you got your group of guy friends. There's the dating, the intermittent dating in between the two groups, the two packs. If one of the couples has a really bad breakup, all the guys are on pins and needles because they know that one bitch is going to convince the rest of the group to dump all of their boyfriends. And it would happen in a few months.
Yeah, and we also know that divorce spreads like a social contagion, even among adults.
Yes.
And 80% of divorces are initiated by women. And that's and we can get into that about why that is. We're getting into touch grass territory now, so we might save this for my show. But yeah,
we'll save it for your show.
Divorce spreads like a social contagion among women too. So does lesbianism. So does transgender stuff. So does cutting. So does eating disorders. So does liberal politics. Also, like all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, shit. There's Demi Lovato now. Just a few years ago, she went through a bad breakup, turned into a cave troll that said she liked women, and now
this is what I'm saying. I can fix these bitches. Stop doubting me.
I didn't think she could get it back because Demi Lovato, I thought she was always a very.
You guys just don't want me to be happy. That's the problem.
She looked like a sack of
No, Theo, she's too contentious. No, Theo,
I thought
I've
told this.
No, Theo, she's been to jail.
Cane at one point.
I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again for the joy of all the new people. But my twin sister, who is currently, so I'm 22, so is my twin sister. She's currently dating a man who's 42, and they have a 1-year-old.
Go back together? Or he had a 1-year-old.
No, together they've had a 1-year-old.
Oh,
it's their kid. My twin birthday 1-year-old from a 42-year-old.
Bro.
Now, before
I hope he's got money.
No, before they were co-workers. But no, before that, my twin was a diehard hate all men lesbian. I remember at one point in time, my twin sister said to me that all men like anime girls because the big eyes remind them of little girls.
The fuck?
No. It's because the big tits. Period.
That is something my twin sister said, that all men are basically pedophiles because that's what she legitimately believed men were. She meets a guy who she likes, and all of a sudden, all of that's gone. She's now actually kind of conservative.
She's dating a guy 20 years her senior. That's great.
Which is crazy.
She planned it out right so that way when he's gone, she's still got a few good years left to hit the scene again.
I mean, hey, she'll be 38 when my nephew turns 18.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
I could say some very mean things about your parents, but I will refrain from it.
Oh, don't worry. We do it all the time, Wizard.
My dad Wizard, my dad will watch this show. My dad is going to watch this tomorrow or the day after.
Excellent.
I'm gonna look right down the barrel.
Give him the JD Vance meme.
But that's the thing too. Is like if you're Iron, I know you're always telling me not to pursue unhinged combative women, but I guess what I'm saying is that do you want my fucking bloodline to die? Like if you're literally saying I can only date women who are kind with good values, that's like 0.01% of the population, and I'm probably gonna have to fuck a married one. Like, I mean, like most of these bitches are completely unhinged and believe completely untenable things about reality, and they badly need to be fixed. Would you just let me do what God put me here to do?
I mean,
sometimes I just said slightly adjust your fucking picker from the gutter to like middle ground, dude.
No, I will not.
I think Theo.
I said have some standards, just
I don't know about
a little.
I don't know about
Theo
the panel.
heard stick your dick in crazy and made it a rule.
I forget you're new here. Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of the panel, but I absolutely believe that I could see Theo as a stepdad. I mean, maybe not a married one, but a recently divorced one.
Definitely a stepbrother.
He's going to be the stepdad and the fucking stepkid's like his age.
Yes. I told Theo he just needs if all else fails, get a Vegas sugar mama who recently divorced her wealthy husband, and just be a kept man.
Yeah.
Be the pool boy.
An option.
I won't.
Yeah.
I won't fight you on that. I'll be like, hey, dude, fucking, we need camera
Yeah,
equipment if we
the-
ever
the
go into the
only
studio.
That's what I'm
Figure
bring
out, so fucking do it.
Yeah.
Theo only gets mad when you bring him your math homework. He was like, "Shit, I couldn't solve this one."
I'd love to see the Real Housewives of Theo Snodgrass.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah. Honestly, I should stay in Melody Max reply. See if I can't turn that ship around.
Oh, bro.
Oh, dude, you should.
I mean,
For the good
try.
of humanity.
Yeah.
For the entertainment's sake, I'd love to see you make. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think your bloodline's going to be continued with that one, though. Something tells me that one's dried out.
Yeah, pour one out through Theo's
Yeah.
bloodline.
Those ovaries look like raisins.
All right, we're at the 2-hour mark. We're going to start wrapping things up. We're going to go around the horn, do some outros so everybody can get on with their weekend. We had a pretty good show night, smaller panel, but everything worked out. We had a lot of good discussions. I feel good about it. We'll start down the bottom. Theo Snodgrass, what you got coming up, man?
Hey, my name is Theo Snodgrass. I'm a comedian and podcaster out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I host a little show called Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass. That's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every single Saturday. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up right now over in the Touch Grass audience. It's very cool. I also appear on Make Me a Sandwich over on Devil's Channel. I'm also here on the Rogues Gallery on Fridays. I'm also a part of Ironcast, which is going to be a Wednesday show. So that's very exciting. I also appear on Sammy Threepeat's show on Sunday in other news, which is very exciting. It's a news show we do over there. I also do live stand-up comedy on July. I'm actually selling tickets for a show right now. I'm on July 10th. I'm going to be at C3. Is the name of the venue. It's very exciting. Hit me up if you want tickets. If you want to keep track of all the cool stuff I'm doing, follow me on Instagram, follow me on X, follow me on YouTube. YouTube is really where the party's at. So make sure to slide over there and follow me, and maybe slide into my DMs because I am single. So if you know anybody, let me know.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. And if you're crazy, like to set things on fire and have questionable standards, go ahead and hit Theo up. He's into that shit.
Yes.
Once a day I do about a 10 to 20 minute video just covering whatever news story, the topic I can find. I try to do once a day, but the news has been a little slow as of late. I'm kind of like Yellow Flash or Hypnotic, but gayer and funnier. So if you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and follow. And as a bonus, I do a YouTube short / Instagram reel that just summarizes the video. So if you don't want to listen to me for 20 minutes, you can listen to me summarize it for 1 minute. And you can find that on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, and X. I never know what shows I'm going to be on, so I generally don't pimp them, but I should be on Ryan Roger Athay's Reality Base come Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Rumble. And if you guys think I'm funny, want to recommend me to channel, I'm always open to do live streams with whoever wants me there.
Right. Man, your outro should not make me have to bite my lip not wanting to tease you, but it does.
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Professor.
I went back as well. I was just
Yeah,
thinking,
we
like,
all were. If you'd rather listen to me for 1 second, that's a little long too.
1 minute.
Oh man, I was just thinking, if the women show up that Iron just recommended to Theo's DMs, he's gonna have to start his first podcast in the studio called the Whenever Podcast because bro, it's for some ladies.
What you got
let's
coming up
see.
there?
All right, Professor Savage. I am on many of the same shows. I am on Make Me a Sandwich on Wednesdays with Devil Made Me Do It, and many of these gentlemen here over on Beelzebub. I am on Rogues Gallery, obviously on Fridays. I will be on the Whiskey Capitalist coming up on the 30th. So that may be a little ways out. Let's see, what day is the 30th? Oh, that's Monday after next. I forgot the way the month was structured. But what else do I have coming up? Tomorrow, I should have an episode of Long Boxing with Laps Comic Fan. We had to shift stuff because we both had work shit. So tomorrow afternoon, I'll be talking bullshit about comics. And then I'll probably be playing Among Us tomorrow night on with Dermy Wormy, but on my own stream. The Ballbusters Gaming will be murdering each other. It's, lots of fun, lots of yelling at people and blaming Dermy for killing everyone and ejecting him from the ship. It's the thing to do. And then that's kind of it for me. That's all I got going on.
Right on, dude. Glad you were able to pop in, man. And Sammy 3P. What you got coming up, bro?
Well, you can find me at Sammy3Pete on Kick, Rumble, and YouTube. All platforms, also X. And I have a show about Batman. I sometimes do the news on Sundays, and if you don't like that, I guess you can find me on a show called Tinfoil Haters with my buddy Leon. We do every Tuesday, and that's where we talk about conspiracy theories, supernatural shit. And then otherwise on Thursdays, I'm on my buddy Roman's show where we talk about whatever Roman wants to talk about. But otherwise, I implore you to like my channel. Sometimes I'll go live, randomly and want to, just spout off about a lot of the shit that we just talked about tonight. But otherwise, yeah, that's it.
Hell yeah. And it's good having you as a regular channel member rotation here at the show. So thanks for coming on tonight, dude. Good having you. And last but not least, our special guest this evening. And man, it's been a good time having you on. I hope you had a good time as well. Fake Wizard. We'll just go with that. What you got going on?
Sure.
Man? Where can people find you?
I'm the real life Fake Wizard. I post videos here on YouTube. That's it. Don't follow me. Good night.
Absolutely follow it. I really became a big fan of your channel over the last several months. So keep up the good work, man. You're very entertaining, and you're always welcome back. If you ever want to pop in, just shoot me a DM. It'd be great having you on. All right, you can find me next tomorrow morning on Cavecast over with Sammy 3Pete, followed by Touchgrass with Theo Snodgrass at 11:30 a.m. PST. And after that, I'll just
we might be a little late on Cavecast.
That's great. I'd love to sleep in. It's 8 o'clock for me.
I'm saying within a march in 15 minutes, but yeah,
dude, 15 minutes makes a big difference.
Going to the dentist.
Cool, man.
But
right on. Well, to everybody who watched the show tonight, thanks to the chat. Go ahead and like and subscribe. We're still trying to get to 1,000 subs before fucking Battsauce. Battsauce can burn in hell. I hope Battsauce and Vaughn Coleman are having an excellent time over at their Comic-Con and sell a bunch of books. And hopefully we'll have them on next week and see what's going on with that. Next week, our special guest will be Duke Devil, who is in the chat. It's good seeing you, man. And looking forward to that show as well. Anyway, hard out. Have a good night, everybody. Have a safe weekend, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.